Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here to bring you a wig review in partnership with the Wig Company. I'm here to show you MARDI from their Fashion Club line in the color 18. This review was a request from a wig sister. She purchased MARDI. She loves MARDI so much that she emailed me and asked me if I could find a way to review this wig so that more wig sisters could know about this style. How cool is that? And I reached out to the Wig Company and asked them if they would be willing to partner with me and send me MARDI because of this request, and they said yes instantly, and that's one of the reasons why I love the Wig Company. So let me show you the tag for this one. MARDI. This is in the color 18, which is also known as light ash brown. I actually chose this color because I have not reviewed it before, so it gave me an opportunity to bring you another color from their Fashion Club line. So if you want to know more about MARDI, why the wig sister loves her so much, and see how I will style this wig in a variety of ways, because this is one that I think will have some fun styling options, then stick around for the rest of this video and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so first of all, I have to thank the Wig Company for being such a wonderful resource for us wig wearers and for being willing to work with so many reviewers to get reviews out there about their wigs. It is so helpful that we can show these wigs on a variety of people, and so the Wig Company is wonderful. If you've never purchased from them or haven't heard of them, please check them out. It's thewigcompany.com. They have 3 house lines that they sell, their own lines of wigs, and they're great priced wigs. They also sell name brand wigs like Gabor, like Estetica, so they have all of it. And I always point wig sisters to this as a resource if they are looking for wigs on a very tight budget. I think they have some really cute styles in all 3 of their lines of wigs, and I have reviewed multiple Wig Company wigs in the past. They've been around for 50 years, more than 50 years now, 52 maybe, because I think I first reviewed them 2 years ago and I had never heard of them prior to that. So they're very much a trusted resource. So if you're so inclined, like I always ask, if you could send them an email. I actually don't know their email address, but I'm sure you can find it on their website, and just thank them for working with reviewers. That kind of praise to our retailers goes a long way in making sure that they continue to work with us so that we can continue to bring you great styles. All right, and I want to thank the wig sister for thinking about her wig sisters. I mean, there's nothing in it for her in emailing me and asking if I might review this for others, but she loved it. She loved the price point, and so I definitely think it's worth it. I do get requests on occasion to review wigs. The problem is, a lot of the time I would have to purchase those wigs myself to review them. And if it's not a style that I would wear or that I even need, then I'm kind of at the mercy of waiting for good sales or clearance or secondary market, so then I can resell them and not lose so much money, because I kind of lose a lot of money on this hobby here with all the purchases that I make. So it is really helpful when I can find a retailer or a manufacturer who's willing to send me a wig. That way I can do this and I don't have to spend anything but my time, which is awesome. All right, let's look at MARDI from all sides. I have a lot to say about this one. So the fact that a wig sister loved this style enough to request that it was reviewed is something. I mean, certainly. And it is not a style that I would have chosen just because it's not really, I mean, it's not my typical style. This hair, though, is 80s hair, without question. If you grew up in the 80s and you were maybe a teenager in the 80s, I was sort of a teenager. I graduated high school in 1990, so I definitely grew up in the 80s. this was how all the girls did their hair. They did those like curls and then they feathered it up and they got big bangs. I mean, this was exactly how they did their hair. It is crazy how much like the 80s hair this is. And so let me just tell you, I have an out of the box at the end. I will put it on the end. And so this wig came with fully formed curls out of the box. This looks like this because I combed her out. I mean, they were fully formed barrel curls. There was absolutely no way that anybody would wear it that way because it really truly looked like if you were in the 80s, you know how you'd do the big barrel curling iron, you'd curl them and then you'd spray hairspray on the curling iron so that it would form like a very, very perfect curl so that when you combed it out, you would get sort of this feathered look. That's what they looked like. And they combed out really, really nicely. I am seriously so impressed with the quality of these Wig Company wigs because their prices are so good. I think this one's on sale right now on their website for $77. If you were to, wait, and I think that's like not technically a sale price. I think they always have like a higher retail and then they have a sale price, and that sale price is kind of their regular price, and then sometimes they'll have a coupon on top of that. So I think you could get this wig for maybe even around $60 or something like that if you waited for a good sale. So the prices are good, but the quality isn't low. It's not like you're getting a budget wig that is budget. The fibers are as good as any of the name brand wigs. The caps are comfortable and wonderful. So I'm really impressed with that. Now, because this isn't a wig that not really my typical style, what's fun about it is I always like to take a challenge with a wig that I wouldn't maybe normally wear. I like to think about what could I do to this one so that I would want to wear it. And so that is what I'm going to do. A little bit later, we'll go in my bathroom and I will show you just some using accessories with this one. So if you're looking at it and you kind of like it, but you're not sure if you can do all this volume, I'm going to show you how you can tamp down some of that, how you can use headbands and clips and really make this a fun wig that you can style. So it is a basic cap wig, and it has no cap features, no lace front, no monofilament. It does have permatease, but surprisingly, it does not have a lot of permatease. So when I go into here, I feel some crimpy fibers, but I don't feel nesty, pillowy permatease. When I go up here, I do feel some nesty permatease up here, but not here, and not really in the back either. What I feel back there is, again, sort of the crimpy fibers, like if you back combed your hair a little bit, but I can feel cap as well. So the volume you see here is really just all of these curls. The density is moderate. It's not super heavy density, but it's not super light density either. And so honestly, it's just so fun. The cap fits me really, really well. I would say these run really pretty true to average. It has tons of stretch, and I do get a little bit of extra cap up here in the crown, which means anybody who's somewhat bigger than me in their over the head measurements, this has room to grow. So if it's big on me, it should fit you if you're a little bit bigger than I am. Let me take this off. I'll show you the cap, and I just want to see. I even have a little bit of room to take it out. It was cinched in just slightly. So if I went all the way to the outside, I think this is going to be, I'm 22-inch circumference. I think this would fit a 23-inch circumference. So I do think this is average, that has a wide range of people that would fit it. You've got an extended nape with the Velcro adjusters, and that's what I mean by it's budget, but it's not like low quality. You get great features. I love that they use the extended nape, soft velvet material, the Velcro adjusters. You have soft ear tabs, but you can barely see them because there's so much hair sewn into them. But they are the soft velvety ear tabs. And then you've got like the soft material in the front here, and that typical lace material, and that's where the bulk of any nesty permatease that it has lives, right up in here. And again, my test on kind of permatease and volume is the squeeze test. This one it's definitely got permatease. It wants to spring out. It feels really soft, and it's got some good volume here. So this is, if you want, if you get overwhelmed by wigs, this is going to overwhelm you. That does not mean you can't grow into it. or try it and do styling with it. I just want you to be realistic. But if you like volume and you like to get your hair really big, or you're just looking for something a little different, this might be something to try. I mean, the price point is good. So the questions I get asked about wigs all the time. Can I cut bangs into it? Okay, so this one kind of has bangs. So if I pull, I had them sort of a little bit big, but let's just watch how I can transform her a little bit without any accessories. So if I pull the bangs forward and I kind of tamp this down a little bit, and even if I try to tuck a little bit, this is going to be hard to tuck because it's so curly and there's so many short pieces here, but you could try to, you know, get some bobby pins and tuck it down a little bit and then pull the hair forward. The issue you're going to have is these bangs have curl in them, so every one of these is going to be a little different how that curl pattern manifests itself in the front. So if you want to wear like more of a defined bang, then this is going to be one of those that I would recommend to use a hot airbrush on. I have shown this in multiple videos where I take a hot airbrush to bangs on a wig and I show you how you can tame them, how you can give them a little bit of lift, those kinds of things. It's very simple, and even though this is not heat friendly, you can take a hot airbrush to it as long as it's a low heat hot airbrush, and I will link in the description the one that I use and recommend because I know that it's safe to use on regular synthetic. You could trim up these bangs a little bit to make them a little shorter as well. So yes, I would say you can put bangs in this one. It kind of already has them, but the curl pattern is really going to dictate how easy it is and how they will lay. But it likes to just sort of sweep to the side just enough because it is a basic cap. You don't want to lift it up off the front, but it is so well structured that you cannot tell, and it just lays just perfectly, and it covers enough of the forehead if you're a bang girl because of forehead wrinkles, which I know I have wig sisters out there, that's why they wear bangs. This one will cover you. It's gotcha. No fear there. The coverage is really good. So I sometimes get bio hair showing like right in here if the coverage on a wig isn't very good. These give me great coverage. So if I wanted to do some styling and I took some clips, which I probably with this one would be clipping up parts all over, I could take some clips, and as long as I just left a little bit here just to hide that transition to where the cap meets my head, I have really good coverage. So I don't really need to make sure that this would blend with my bio hair because it's not going to show. So that is fantastic. I do think you can wear glasses with this one. Well, okay, let me qualify that because that's so hard to say. Everybody's measurements are different, and so I could wear glasses with this one. I get enough clearance that I could comfortably wear glasses. So look at my measurements. If your measurements are smaller than me by any significant amount, what that means is these are going to fall lower on you and they may make it hard for you to wear glasses because you'll get less clearance. Likewise, if you're bigger than I am, which I think you can comfortably wear this if you're even a fair amount bigger than I am, then you'll get more clearance there and even easier to wear glasses. So let's talk about the color so that I can get some styling done. We're already 12 minutes in. We're a little more than that with that introduction. Okay, color, light ash brown. The number is 18. Let me grab my color codes and I can tell you what does that mean while you're looking at it. So I'm going to get up here and I'm just going to let you look at the color for a second while I pull this up. I have way too many windows open on here. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to get to it. All right, sorry. This is not professional in any way, shape, or form, but I want to make sure I have this right. So you're just looking at the color. Hopefully I'm in a good place where you can see that. So an 18, dark ash blonde, lightest ash brown. That's what the color code 18 means. It is not rooted, so you've got no dark rooting. It's just a very neutral to ashy, light brown. I would not call this a dark blonde. I think it leans on the brunette side of things, a light brown, very neutral to ashy. Very well blended. No highlights, no lowlights, no rooting, no anything. Nice and bright though. It looks very, very neutral. One thing I want to mention before we get outside, permatease. Because of the way that this is lifted up here, you really can't see visible permatease. If this didn't have all this curl and all this lift, there is some nesty permatease like right in here that I think you would be able to see. But because of the way that this style lays and because of the volume, you can't see it. So that's good news. All right, everybody. Let's get outside so that you can see this color outside, and then let's do some styling. I do have the out of the box so you can see those perfectly formed curls, and I did comb it out on camera so you could see how that transformed it. Let me know if you have questions about Mardi. Thank you to the Wig Sister who brought this to my attention so that I could bring it to your attention, and hopefully this is a style that some of you will gravitate toward, or maybe you've been looking for something like this. Let's get outside. Okay, here we are with this beautiful light neutral brown color outside. It's very, very cloudy. You can see it's very well blended, no super stark highlighting, no rooting. It is very, very neutral as well. I would just call this a bright light brown. Making sure you get it from all angles. I don't know if you can tell, but it sort of brightens up my face because of how bright it is, but it won't draw extreme attention to you. It's a great color if you're looking for something that doesn't, look like you went to a salon and spent a ton of money getting your hair highlighted, but want something that is, it's not going to drag your face down either with it maybe being too dark of a brunette. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. All right, everyone, here we are in my bathroom so I can show you a couple of quick styles and ideas. So if this wig is way too much hair for you, has way too much volume, that you have some options to tamper down. So the first one is my tried and true cloth headband look. I do this with almost all of my super curly wigs that have a ton of volume, and I have done this from the very beginning. So one of my very first wigs that overwhelmed me with kind of volume and poof was Envy Bianca. Between Envy Bianca and Main Attraction Broadway, I loved both of those. They were just so far outside my comfort zone, but I still love them so much. Basic cap wigs with tons and tons of curl and volume, but I just couldn't quite bring myself to wear them as they came. So I would wear them just like this. I would put a cloth headband on and just sort of work to pull out curls here and there, arrange the curls. This is all sort of personal preference. Where do you want the poof? Where do you want the curls to be? And then in the back, I would either put it in a ponytail like I did here with just a little ponytail holder, or I would use a claw clip to clip it up. It is honestly one of the most fun casual looks I think that you can achieve with a super curly wig. You can kind of wear it any time, but it's really perfect for days when you're going to be running around a lot. You're going to be spending a lot of time outside and you're worried with the wind and the weather, how it might impact your hair. If you are someone who likes to go to the cabin a lot in the summer and maybe you go boating a lot, this is such a great hairdo for that, because if you're going to be, cruising along in the water and the wind's really going to be blowing, this is really going to keep your hair in place. If you guys decide to stop off somewhere and do a little swimming, again, you can totally do that with a wig like this, and it's going to be just fine. So I definitely think if you have a little bit of an inkling to get a wig like this and you really want to try a curly wig, but you're worried, especially a basic cap wig, then you don't have to worry about any of those mono features, and it's just really, really easy. So I'll take this off so you can see. I'm going to go backwards for you so you can see how I put it on, and then we'll do another style. So, and it can take some time. It's not easy for me to get the curls exactly like I want them in a style like this. I have to play around a little bit, which is why it's a lot easier for me to come to you with it in versus do it on camera. It's really a lot of finagling. But basically, I've got a ponytail holder in the back, just a simple ponytail holder, and I have a cloth headband, and it's just like a gator cloth headband. And I can make sure that I've got them linked, at least something similar, linked in the description so that you can easily find it. Let me grab my comb here. So now that's all I had in. You could put bobby pins in, you could clip it up in other places, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. If you don't want to use a cloth headband like this, you can use a bandana. I just find cloth headbands are a little bit easier for those who have physical challenges like I do, or it can be hard to tie these bandanas with all that hair in there. And so that's the only issue, is sometimes you get some of the hair tied in. But what can be easier is getting it sort of arranged in the back. If you can figure out how to tie it, you know, with all that hair there, you can get that arranged a little bit easier in the back. It's not as thick. Why don't I just try that? It's not as thick. So then if you actually want to wear the hair down, you can actually do that. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna be able to do this. My fingers, they just don't work very well sometimes. And I'm experiencing that right now. Let's just pretend I tied it though. You can tie it low, and then you can keep the hair down. That might be just a little bit easier to do than a cloth headband that tends to get a little thick once you've got it all gathered up. So that's an option. Another option, and I've shown it multiple videos before, are little tiny claw clips. Let me grab them so that you can start strategically clipping some of this volume. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This one's got big hair, and it's not going to be tamed easily, but it can be tamed. You just have to figure out what works for you and have accessories that you can play with. And what's great about it being a basic cap, and you can use any color if you don't want to be able to see the clips. You know, I've shown in other videos how you can move some of the top layer of hair around so that you can clip on the underside, and then that way you still achieve some of that de-poofing, but you don't necessarily see the clips. Bobby pins can do the same thing. For the purposes of demonstration, it's just easier for me to use clips though. But as you work through it, and maybe if you're trying to de-poof all of this top section, bobby pins can be really good for that. But as you're working, you're just trying to clip down certain sections of the hair and then arrange the rest of it, and then you're not going to have as much poof. So again, it's all in your attitude that, you know, I'm going to figure out a way to make this work, and kind of the accessories that you have, you know, accumulated over time. I know not all of us have a ton of money who can spend on, you know, things like this. So over time you accumulate some of these. You know, these claw clips aren't very expensive. You can find some really cheap ones at the drugstore. Amazon sometimes, if you have Prime, have better prices than the drugstore and free shipping. So just work on accumulating some things over time. Bobby pins, you can buy tons of bobby pins for cheap, and that way you at least have something. So let's talk about these headbands, which I've shown a lot. So they're similar to a bandana, but they don't require dexterity and tying. So then you just sort of stick it on, and then you start arranging the hair. You can do some tucking on the sides here, so that again, you're taming some of that volume. So you're maintaining some of the curl, but taming it down some as well. So the goal is not only to have some extra options when it comes to styling, but it's to allow you to take the leap to purchase a wig you might not normally wear, and knowing that you'll be able to figure it out, you'll be able to make it work. This may not be an everyday hairstyle for you, but it may be a weekend hairstyle, maybe a beach hairstyle, maybe, you know, you're helping a friend move hairstyle, and you don't want to wear one of your nice expensive wigs because you don't want to risk ruining it, but you also can't go without a wig. I'm going to grab one other thing to show you here. So another option are these kind of headbands, the scrunchy headbands that have, you know, these are like velvety. But what you can do is if you wear a low ponytail with one of these and a headband, so again, you're taming the volume, you're getting the hair off of your neck. And then you just play around with the sides. Pull a little bit of curl out on the sides, kind of here and here, just so that you can hide that cap. If the hair is just a little bit too long in some places, so it doesn't look natural spilling out, it doesn't look like, you know, when we have our bio hair and we put it up and we've got little shorter pieces that don't want to clip back. If it's a little too long and it doesn't look like that happened, that's where that razor comb comes in that I show in a lot of my Tip Tuesdays, because then you just take a piece that's a little bit too long, but you want it to be sort of a tendril accessory, and you just cut a little tiny bit off until it's the right length. And because of the way curly wigs are, you can do that for an updo, and then if you decide to wear it down later, you've not limited yourself, because those will just blend in with the rest of the hair. You won't be able to tell that you sort of trimmed a little piece and made it a little shorter. So that's what I have. That's the styling I wanted to show you. I want to encourage you to not be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and think, what if it doesn't work for me, then I'm out that money. I really don't think you will be. I think everybody has an opportunity to wear a curly wig in a messy updo of some sort with headbands. Some event, something you're going to be doing in the future will come up where you're going to want something like this. You can't achieve a similar freedom with a straight wig. Because you're out on a boat, it's hard to get it all situated so it doesn't blow all over the place. You know, straight wigs have their challenges. So I think having a couple of curly wigs on hand could be helpful. Now, of course, if you're not out of the wig closet, that's something to consider, which is why I also encourage you to work your way toward letting people know that you wear wigs. It will free you in a way that I think will outweigh the fear of getting there. But again, we all have to approach that in our own time, but it can be hard to constantly be keeping this a secret. So hope this helped you guys. Thank you once again to the Wig Company for sending me Mardi so that I could show her to all of you guys, and for the Wig Sister that suggested I try to get her so I could show her to all of you guys. Let me know if you have questions. Thanks for watching. All right, everyone, I'm here with the out of the box for Mardi. Did I say that right? Yes, Mardi. So I just took her out of the box and I just unfolded her. So she came inside out, and I can tell this one's gonna need a little TLC. You can see these really pretty curls. I mean, this looks like you just put a whole bunch of curls in and you haven't even finger combed them yet. So this wig was a request from a wig sister, and I was able to get, oh yeah, this is untamed hair for sure. So basically you put rollers in, or you curled it and you didn't comb it out. That's what this looks like. So Wig Sister messaged me and just got this wig and loved it so much that she wanted me to see if I could do a review on it, because she really thought that it was sort of a hidden gem. So I reached out to the wig company and they agreed to send her to me. So here we go. This is what Mardi looks like out of the box. Let's take a look at her all the way around so you can see her. I had a call coming in there, so I had to dismiss it. This is out of the box. So I'm not sure what you guys are thinking right now, but I know that some of you just really don't know what to do when you get a wig out of the box and are really struggling with that part of the journey. So this one, actually, you know what? It's surprising that it doesn't have worse box hair. Given how voluminous this is, I'm really surprised this doesn't have worse box hair, but it really doesn't. What it has is just freshly curled hair. So let's give her a good shake. I do need to take this tag off of her though, so that I can really shake her out and start working with her. I don't think she looks terrible. I definitely think I have seen way worse out of a brand new wig. Now let's give her a good shake. So first thing, you decide you're gonna work with her. I'm not sending her back. You decide, I'm just gonna see what I can do. And so you start shaking it out. This one, especially with all these curls, the fact that she's a basic cap, so she's got a good amount of permatease. So we want to get in there and we really want to kind of loosen that up. Now, I know that I have said in videos in the past that I do not comb out curly wigs for the most part. Now, I'm just doing the underside right now. This is upside down still. Just trying to smooth out a little bit of the curl pattern. I'm not combing all the way through. I'm kind of brushing the outside of it with sort of the edge of the comb. So back to me saying that I don't comb out curly wigs. I think what I've actually said is most of the time I don't comb out curly wigs, but it will depend on a lot of factors. It'll depend on the wig. Well, that really gave it some Dolly Parton volume. It'll depend on the curl pattern. And so this one has a curl pattern that really needs combing. It's just way too perfect. It's very much like you took curlers and you put them in, or rollers, hot rollers, or, you know, you took a curling iron and then you just left the curls fully formed in order to cool. And so this one definitely needs to be combed. This is very much 80s hair, without question. I mean, look at this. It's very much 80s hair. So if you were of a certain age in the 80s, wow, this is gonna really bring you back. Look at how much that changed. Just taking my fingers and doing a little combing, and that really starts to bring her into her own. The curls aren't as formed anymore. Yeah. 80s hair all the way. So now at this point, it sort of depends on what you're going after. So if your goal is to have that kind of big 80s feathered look and some volume, you might be pretty much done getting her to kind of lay. Now, if you don't want that much volume, there is a lot of permatease here though, so you're not going to tame it too much. Then you just keep working it, tamping her down. Sometimes just wearing her around the house, the heat of the head will start to relax some of that permatease and some of that volume. You can let her sit on a wig head and just, a lot of times I'll let a wig hang upside down for a while when I first get it. But if the wig is way too voluminous for you to begin with and really doesn't seem to have like any flattening from box hair, then you might set it on a wig head right side up so that gravity can impact it differently and start to settle that permatease. But even just kind of taming her like this with my fingers, you can see she's a lot less full, and I do think you're going to be able to get fullness and less full with this one just by playing with it. So good out of the box moment here to show you guys some things, and I think she's looking great out of the box. Thanks for watching.